Hey you guys, quick help video. We're gonna go back, do some review, see where everybody's at and how I can help you. So again, I'm on Zoom. If you need help, you got to step up a little bit and come and get it. All right. So, all right, quick. There are basically three types of problems you're gonna do here. So I wrote out on here, and you got to do these on your worksheets. Again, so SOHCAHTOA. So sine is the opposite over the hypotenuse. I labeled it. Cosine is the adjacent over the hypotenuse, and tangent is the opposite over the adjacent. So basically on this one, here's what I want you to do. Label all the sides with opposite, hypotenuse, and adjacent for the triangles on this first page, and 13 through 18 on the second page. Just draw a quick triangle and label them up. Then you're going to write your ratio. So let's go through which one's opposite, which one's adjacent, which one's hypotenuse. So if I have angle C, they want sine of angle C. So C, if I jump across from angle C, the opposite of C is 21. So right opposite. Across from the right angle is the hypotenuse. And what's left over between the angle and the right angle is going to be the adjacent, which is 20. So label all those. Now, they specifically want the sine. Sine is the opposite. So I wrote opposite over the hypotenuse. So what is my opposite? It's 21. And what's your hypotenuse? Length of 29. So the ratio for the sine of angle C is 21 over 29. Can't reduce, circle it, and then you're good to go. Okay? Again, write your label, all the sides. Then write your ratio of what they want. Again, they want sine C. So they want two sines, two cosine, two tangent. All right. All right, page 2. First, start out, you got to make sure your calc is in degrees, not radians. So if you look, mine is this Casio is right here. It's in the yellow. So I have to hit the second function and then make sure I'm in degrees, not radians. So get a calc, and all you're going to do is punch in the sine of 62 degrees. So if you go grab your calc and just hit sine 62 degrees, make sure I'm in degrees. There's the D. If you're in radians, it's going to have an R. So make sure you got a D. So sine 62, round to the 10 thousandths. Oh, all right. So just give me the first four places. So I got 0.8829. All right. So those should be pretty simple. Just punch it in. All right. The third type of problem is you're going to find a missing side. So again, follow what you've been doing on the other pages. So I label all the sides, and they want this length of this side right here. And they give me a degree right here. So across from it is the opposite. Across from my right is the hypotenuse. Here's my adjacent. Now, what do they give me? Well, I know the opposite and I know the hypotenuse. Well, opposite and hypotenuse is the sine. So I'm going to use the sine of 59 is equal to the opposite, which is x, over the hypotenuse. If they gave me the adjacent, then I'd use cosine. Adjacent and the hypotenuse, then I'd use cosine. So how do I solve this equation right here? Well, I started it for you. If you're dividing by 17, how do you undo that? To get x by itself, multiply both sides by 17. And that will cancel out your 17s. So what's left over? I have 17 times the sine of 59. And then grab your calc. Take 17 times the sine of 59 degrees. It equals. And I get 14.6. So can you circle your answers? That'll make it easy. So the second type of question now, you're going to see is like problem 16. So now here's my opposite, here's my hypotenuse, here's my adjacent. What do they give me? Adjacent and hypotenuse. I don't need the opposite. So what is adjacent hypotenuse? That's cosine. So cosine 51 degrees equals the adjacent 10 over the hypotenuse x. Now the difference here is x is on the bottom of the fraction, not the top. So you got a couple of steps. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the x to the other side. So if they're dividing by x, I'm going to multiply both sides by x. It'll cancel out. And then you get cosine 51, x times the cosine of 51 is 10. Now, to isolate my x, I divide both sides by the cosine of 51. They'll cancel out. So I get x equals 10 divided by the cosine of 51. So grab your calc, just take 10 divided by the cosine 51 degrees. And I get 15.9. So one more time. If x is on the top, you're going to multiply. Basically, if it's on the bottom, you're going to divide. All right. Give it a shot so I can see what you're doing. Circle your answers. Make sure your calc's in radians, or excuse me, make sure your calc's in degrees, not radians. And attach it to the post. Thanks.